This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What's going on, everybody? I hope y'all's internet is working better than mine. It's your boy Jay McLovin here on the afternoon show with OG Tony and Chris Gonzo Gonzalez. What a day. What a weekend. Man, it's been hell, man. It's been great all at the same time. If you like our day's commentary, please give us a subscribe on our YouTube pages at ESCN, Elite Sports Entertainment Network, and also Gonzo Sports Room GSR. We definitely appreciate that. And what a time. Tony, man, damn, it's been a good weekend, baby.
Yeah, we got to see some pretty good NFL games. We got two real good NFL games. One was decent. There was one pretty good shellacking that we'll talk about. Somebody got manhandled pretty good. But let's jump right into it, guys. Let's talk about the first game, Denver and Buffalo. Denver winning in overtime 33-30. Denver had 349 of total yards, 279 passing, 70 rushing. Did have one turnover. Buffalo 449 total yards, 266 passing, 183 rushing. I thought they got away from the rushing a little bit in the fourth quarter, especially late. But but the key to this game was 5 turnovers. It's hard to win games if you turn the ball over that much, and they were right there. Really good game, enjoyed it. I thought Buffalo was going to pull it out, but Denver got the job done. But then the other big story is Denver losing their quarterback for the season. Is there any luckier team than the New England Patriots?
If there is, I don't know of it. At least not right now.
Could you imagine the story, though, if Denver was to pull out that victory next week?
Man, and it doesn't sound like from what Sean Payton seemed like he had full time. Now, I know he has to say those things, but I do know Sean Payton is a meticulous guy. He's good, he knows how to put people in situations, and I don't think he's going to ask Sid to go out there and, do the whole thing by himself. He's going to probably ask him just play, short dink and dunk passes. Don't try to force nothing. Let the run game, let the defense, let all those other things do it for you. Just go out there and play in your natural rhythm, and don't try to do anything crazy. You don't have to be Josh Allen, maybe Trent Dilfer, Trent Green, whatever, but you don't have to do too much. That's true.
Okay, guys, let's talk about it a little bit. Chris, your thoughts on the Buffalo-Denver game?
It was a fun football game to watch. I agree with you. I thought Buffalo got away from the run a little bit in the second half. But in the game was turnovers and the referees. There was a lot of missed calls late in that game. A couple of big ones went against Buffalo, and I think there was one that went for Denver as well. But yeah, there was some calls there. But big thing, turnovers. The one right before halftime where you give them 3 points by fumbling the ball when you shouldn't even been running the play.
Yeah,
that kills you. Just Buffalo made too many mistakes against a good team.
I agree with you. And after that, we'll get Jay's take, and then we'll talk a little bit about a couple of those controversial calls in that game. And Jay, your take on the game?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. When your guy is getting you 4.9 yards a carry, why are you going away from it? That's what was working for you. The one thing, Josh Allen, he's a smart guy, but I think in the moment he was trying to make some things happen. That one where he's kind of going down to the ground and he shovels it to the guy behind him, and it doesn't get to him. It winds up into, I think, Denver's hands at the end. Stuff like that was just those little things is what killed Buffalo ultimately. I mean, I know we're going to get to the interception here in a minute. That was also another thing. But honestly, it was just a lot of silly mistakes. Like you said, like Chris said it already, ball protection. If you turn the ball over, three fumbles, 5 or 6 times, I mean, that's a hell of a deficit to try to come back from, especially against that Broncos team that has a really good offense and has a good defense. You're just not going to come back from that.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Let's talk about that play. Me and Chris talked over the phone after, and it was close. And yeah, I didn't have a problem with the call being a being an interception until, and this is just my opinion, until I seen the other play that was kind of similar, a little different, but kind of similar as far as the leg going down and whether that was a catch or not. And then, being down by contact and not being a fumble. I think that they're not consistent. I think if that was a catch and he's down by contact, I kind of feel like, in my opinion, that should have been a catch and down by contact. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not no expert on the rules, but that's just the way it kind of seemed to me. Now, if both of them would have been called the same, I wouldn't have a complaint. But it was kind of called kind of differently. Jay, your take on that?
Yeah, you're right. That's a problem I had too, was the consistency of the play calling. So I think you definitely hit the nail on the head there. The rule of thumb is, or at least the NFL rule I was seeing, was when you catch the ball when you catch the ball, he had his arm in there, tie goes to the runner. Offense was the one that was awarded it when they're tied up like that. They go to the ground. You can see that he's on the ground. That ball didn't come out until after he was on the ground, and then he stripped it out of him. That was down by contact. And the tie between them catching it together always goes to the offense. That's why I felt like it should have been down by contact and not an interception. But I also say, like what you're seeing with the consistency of the play calling, where do you go with that? So you have to be consistent all across the board.
Yeah, if it had been called both the same ways, I wouldn't have an issue because,
right.
Of course, it's different crews. That's the problem you have. Chris, your take on the two plays, especially the Denver Buffalo game.
Well, when the Denver and Buffalo one first happened, I thought it was close, and I kind of waited to make judgment because it cost me some money. So I didn't want. I was trying not to let my bias. I didn't want to say it was a catch just because of my bias, because I had a parlay and I needed Brandon Cooks to get one more catch, and my $10 parlay was going to hit for like $400, $450, $450 of a $10 bet, and I need one more catch. Well, you have the one he catches on the sideline, where he's out by a wrist.
Right.
Then you have the one he's in the end zone. Should be pass interference, no call, pass interference. And then you have this one where he caught it and then no, it's an interception. But after I watched the play more, I think it's a catch. He has control. The guy gets his arm in there, his knee hits, he's rolling through, and then the guy snatches the ball. Like, how's that not a catch? You're down.
I agree 100%.
So I think it was a catch. But again, like Buffalo, yeah, you get that. If that's a catch, you win that game. But also, you made so many mistakes that it's. But yeah, I do think it should have been a catch. And like you're saying, on the other play, they called it a catch, and it was pretty much the same thing.
Right. Yeah, but this is the thing: the guy doing the replay analysis, I forget his name, but he said that you have to maintain the ball through the ground. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But then on the other game, the guy, I don't know if it was the same guy, I don't think it was, said that once his leg hit, he was down. So you got to be consistent, and that's I'm just going to talk about the the guys doing the analysis. I'm just talking about that part of it now. But the referees both called it different.
So my thing is, he maintained it through the ground. He hit the ground, and the guy took it out of his hands. Like the ball never hit the ground. It wasn't like he hit the ground and lost control of it. He hit the ground, and the guy as he was rolling through, the guy was able to.
I feel like, and it's almost like a football move for me. I feel like once you hit the ground, if you're turning, your whole body is on the ground and you're turning, and then as he's getting up, that's when the ball comes out. He's been on the ground for a hot minute. I mean, not a hot minute, but a short minute. He's been on the damn ground.
But I agree.
You're going to be on the ground before they call down, down by contact. I don't know. Anyway,
you have to be consistent in how you're calling it, because there wasn't no different. There wasn't no difference really between the plays, and they were called different.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people. A lot of people going to say Buffalo got screwed. I'm not going to say that because they turned the ball over 5 times. You don't
Yeah,
turn the ball over
but
5 times.
2 big calls, that pass interference in the end zone.
I agree.
Push the ball in the one. You catch that ball.
Yeah.
You're getting points there.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, in
I
a
don't
way,
disagree.
it cost them the game.
Well,
but yeah,
well,
if you don't make all the mistakes you made, the game wouldn't have been that close, near as close.
they definitely didn't get any
Especially,
breaks.
I feel like too, like you said, Chris. I feel like with the calls, that game was so close that those are huge momentum changers. When if you're giving it to the other person and there's a contract, that's a huge momentum changer. So I mean, you're right with the psyche of all of what's going on. Now you're right, but you're also right, Tony. Those 5 turnovers that really, really, really hurt them. But it doesn't help the fact that, on top of that, you got refs making bad calls and it's compounded on. There's a lot of things. At the end of the day, though, I mean, hey, Josh Allen, you still have not beat a damn team in that division. That's crazy. It's got to be like, I wonder if he goes to bed at night thinking like, damn, like this is like the curse. Like that West division is a curse for me.
And not only that, guys, this game quite possibly, well, it did. I mean, I don't know if Buffalo wins this game and lose the next one, maybe he still loses his job. But Sean McDermott fired this morning by the Buffalo Bills. I think it's a mistake. I think McDermott's a good coach. If just me personally, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going after McDermott.
Yeah. No, I agree. I let me ask you guys this, man. I understand, when you lose a game like that, Josh has been there 7 times and has not been able to get it. I get where ownership is like, hey, look, man, this ain't getting it done. We got to move on. But at the same time, I'm like, that loss was not McDermott's fault. Player execution, some bad calls by the refs. That's not the coach's fault, And I feel like, okay, you let go of Josh McDermott. If you don't get this correct, Buffalo Mafia, Bills Mafia, they're going to come after you. They got to get this correct. And I don't know who you're going to bring in. I don't know. Is it going to be Tomlinson? And if you bring in Tomlinson, do you bring in Dable with him as the offensive coordinator to give continuity back to Josh? How do you play that?
Do they bring Dable in as a head coach?
And that's a possible. I think Dable would jump on that.
Because they're saying that the coach from the Steelers, Tomlinson, is not going to coach this year.
Right.
He wants the year off. That's what they're saying. Now, things can change. Chris, what's your take on McDermott being fired?
I think Buffalo made a big mistake. You fired a guy that in 8 seasons as your coach has took you to the playoffs 7 times.
Right.
Has had you in 2 AFC championship games in that time period. I think four divisional games in that time period. So it ain't like he's got to the playoffs and lost the first round of the playoffs every time he gets to the playoffs. He's made it to the divisional round. He's made it to the conference championship twice. Yeah, they haven't been able to get to the Super Bowl. He's 73-27 in his last 6 seasons.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Think about that. 73. We said 73-27. That's nuts. That's damn near.
Has made
50 games.
Seven straight playoff appearances, and like I said, didn't lose in the first round of all of them, like Pittsburgh had done when they've gotten to the playoffs. He's 8-8 in the playoffs. So he's 500 in the playoffs. Ain't great, but ain't bad either. And you fire the guy. To me, if you're going to fire anybody, it should have been the GM. I don't think he should have been fired either. But if you're going to get rid of anybody, it's the GM. What have we been saying all year about the Bills? They don't have enough at receiver. They don't have because of injuries, their defense wasn't the same. So it wasn't like he was going into that game with a fully healthy roster ready to go. Hell, they lost 2 receivers last week in the first playoff game. They were down to like three receivers on their team yesterday or Saturday. Right. So it wasn't like he was going there with a full complement of weapons. They had chances to win that game. You didn't go in there and get blown out. I don't understand it. And who you going to get that's better than him? Exactly. 100%. Who you going to get? You're going to hire somebody who just got fired from another job? Like it don't to me, I think it'll either be Dable or It could be Brady. They could just their offensive coordinator. They could promote him up to head coach. And then there's damn it, guy. He was a quarterback for a while there for the Bills, the backup, and now he's in the coaching. I think Reese might be his last name. They're saying his name a lot. But the only thing that would worry me a little bit about that, I guess, him and Josh Allen are like best friends. I don't know if you want to hire your quarterback's best friend to be your team's head coach. Yeah. But I think it's a big mistake to fire McDermott. And if I'm any of these other teams, I'm bringing McDermott in as quick as I can. Duke can build a culture. I think it's a bad move.
I think go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
I think the Steelers, and then the other one, because you mentioned culture. I don't know if we go there because I think the front office has been kind of a mess, is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns need a culture. They've got a great defense. Mm-hmm. He could find him an offensive coordinator. And I know he don't really have a quarterback yet, but maybe you give what's his name a try. Hey, how's it going, House? You give Shadur a chance. You know, who knows? But I think McDermott would be a great hire at Pittsburgh or Cleveland.
I was watching Get Up this morning, and I thought Rex Ryan kind of had an interesting take on who should take the job. And I kind of can see where he was coming from with that. And it'll never happen, but I understand where he's coming from. He had suggested that Bill Belichick take that spot and then bring Dable in as his offensive coordinator. Now, that on the surface doesn't sound like a bad idea because I know Belichick is still pissed off. Idea. Yeah, he's still pissed off about how New England did him, and then when he went off. So what better thing to do than bring a guy in that knows Vrabel backwards and forwards, knows Josh McDaniels backwards and forwards, and is a tactical tactician. It can manage. As long as he has good coordinators, that dude's on point. And you know, Dable has a good relationship with Josh Allen. They work well together. That would be a seamless transition. And then he can take his revenge out on New England. Oh my God, I would love that. And frankly, we turn it over to Sam Grave. I would love that.
That's an awesome idea.
Great.
That
really would be great.
No, that'd be a great hire for Buffalo.
Yeah, I think so too.
Guys, you guys ready to move on to the next one? This wasn't much of a game, guys. I know Seattle 41-6 all over San Francisco. If you look at the stats, it's kind of weird. Other than the turnovers for San Francisco, Seattle only had 281 total offense. You know, so it wasn't crazy. They did rush the football fantastic in this game, but they had 0 turnovers. Now, San Francisco had 236 yards of total offense, 128 passing, 108 rushing. But the big thing here, just 3 turnovers. They had trouble moving the ball. San Francisco decimated by injuries. Ain't no excuse. I mean, they made it there, but a big win for Seattle. And Seattle had a big injury in this game that we'll talk about after we're done talking about the game. Chris, your thoughts on Seattle and San Francisco?
Seattle took this game over from the get-go with the kickoff return for a touchdown, and then San Francisco just kept didn't turn the ball over 2 quick times real quick right after that, and then just dug themselves too big of a hole to ever really get back in it. And the Seahawks was able to get their run game going, which was good for them with the Darnold injury. They didn't have to throw the ball a lot. But yeah, 49ers couldn't get nothing going from the start, and Seattle came out ablazing at the start and took advantage of it.
Yeah, it was over. Yeah, it was over pretty quick. Jay, your thoughts on the game?
I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on the game. This actual game is the reason that I told Melanie why we're going to install a TV in the bathroom. No, I'm serious. Because like when I watch football, I typically walk all around my house because I kind of get antsy. I have a lot of energy in me, so I walk around a lot. But I have all the TVs on in my house, so that way I can see the game no matter where I'm at. I can always see the game. Well, I went to the bathroom. I said, "Wow, what's gonna happen? I know I can get this done before the kickoff goes down." Man, I'm in there. All I hear is Melanie's like, "Go to touchdown!" I'm like, what? What? And I told Melody, I said, man, listen, get that dude from or was it? I think it was Best Buy. Get him on the line. We're going to start the TV in the damn bathroom. I can't miss it there. But anyway, long story short, what I thought about the game, Chris said it pretty much from the get-go. They punch him in the mouth, and then they kept punching him in the mouth. And Kenny Walker, the third, dude, that dude was the star. Now, Darnold did a great job. No interceptions. But that offensive line did a great job. He had two. I think he had none. Did he have one?
No, he didn't have any. I was saying that's the key. No interception.
Oh, okay.
No
I thought you said one. I was like, damn, did I miss something?
Turnovers. That was big for Darnold.
Yeah, and you're right, because that's what I said. I said, look, if you give Darnold time to throw the damn ball, he's going to find Njigba, or he's going to find Walker, or he's going to find, whoever, right? Cup, whatever. And, and when they do that, he does find them. But when he does it, when they put pressure on Darnold, that's the key to Darnold. You got to put pressure on. And they did sack him twice, but he was able to operate pretty fluidly. And Walker did his job. The defense did their job. Now, Charbonnet, unfortunately, is down, but still, what a hell of a damn game, man. I mean, and I felt bad for Christian, man. Look, that dude's a warrior. I mean, he really is. He's a damn warrior, because I know that shoulder it felt like he just wanted to rip it off his damn body. It probably hurt so bad, And so I got, I tip my hat to that guy, But again, I told you, Frank, Tony, I told you, I've been telling you guys, I said, man, listen, this dude is injury prone. It's not his fault. It's his body's fault, because he's been used so damn much. But this dude always gets injured at critical times. He just goes down. And that's always been the downfall of Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
that's not the reason they lost the game, but that was a big part of it,
Well, the defense didn't play well. I mean, either.
No,
defense didn't
they
play
did
well.
not. You can tell they were missing Fred Warner.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk a little bit about the big loss. I think it's a loss. I know they got Walker. I know he's a really good running back, but they've had that 1-2 punch most of the season. Charbonnet tearing his ACL. He's headed for surgery. Guys, do you think this impacts them the rest of the way? Rest of this tournament run? Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it definitely will impact them. Walker had the big day this game, but there's been other games this year, a lot of games this year where Charbonnet's has been the guy that's had the big game. So I mean, it's not always just been Walker, and also they can use Charbonnet in the passing game as well. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a loss. Anytime, I mean, you have a two-headed backfield like that. When you have them kind of guys, to lose one of them is going to affect you. So they're going to have another guy step up in the backfield.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I mean, it affords them to be neither one of them not to be tired. I mean, you're giving the guys only half the carries and still getting all kinds of production. So you lose that one of those guys. I think it hurts them some. Now, I'm not saying it hurts them enough where they can't win the game, but I think it changes things. And I don't know who the other backup running back is. You may see him get a few
Jones
carries.
Jr.
Yeah, so you go see him maybe get some carries.
I mean, if you look at this game, he only had 20 yards on 5 attempts, but he also banged his knee up. Game before that, he had 17 attempts for 74 yards. The game before that, he had 18 attempts for 110 yards. So, he's most games he's double-digit attempts. So so it's definitely going to affect him some.
Yeah,
and I will tell you, Tony, Walker is. I've had Walker in my fantasy league a couple of times now. He's always having injuries. Like he's not as bad as McCaffrey, but he is susceptible to injury, and that's what worries me about him, because he's not a terribly big guy. He's a lot smaller. So I don't know if his body can handle, a full game. We're going to find out. But
plus Charbonnet also averages about three receptions a game as well.
Yeah, he does. So that's really going to fall all on him. Now, Velus Jones, he's had 4 carries in the damn season. He didn't really do anything against San Francisco. I think he averaged like 1.7 yards. Now, can you imagine going up against the Rams? So, again, they really don't have much in the way of a backup running back. This is going to fall squarely on Walker the third, and he's going to have to pull the team.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting games this weekend. Let's move on to the next one, guys. New England defeating Houston 28 to
Yeah.
16. New England had 248 yards of total offense, not great. 143 passing, 105 rushing, not bad. They did have 3 turnovers and also got sacked 5 times. So Houston got to them. Houston's defense played pretty well. I know you look at the fact they give up 28 points, but that's not telling. It wasn't really on the defense. It was more on the offense uh, making that happen for Houston, not playing well. 240 total yards of offense for Houston, 193 passing, 48 rushing. The big key, 2 big keys here, guys. 5 turnovers, just killed them, and only 1 out of 4 in the red zone. I'm going to give you guys an opinion, and you may think I'm crazy. Me and my wife was talking the second quarter, Houston's quarterback just played terrible. And the reason I say this is because of the look in the guy's eyes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think they should have switched quarterbacks. He looked like he was done. He looked like he was defeated. He just kept making a horrible decision after horrible decision. It was lucky that not even more touchdowns weren't given up because of his bad decisions, because there was opportunities there that New England almost made. I think they should have put in the other quarterback. That's my decision. People are going to say that's probably, oh no, that's crazy. You shouldn't do that to him. I think it should have been done. I think they could have had a chance to win that game. They won that damn. I mean, you take away all those turnovers. New England didn't play that great. I'm not taking anything from New England. Don't get me wrong. They won the game, and they're a good team. But I think Houston really. And people will say New England's defense put some of that on him. And that's true. But I also thought he made a lot of bad decisions. And he like I said, his facial expressions, everything, he looked like he was done to me. And I thought they should have made a change. Chris, your thoughts?
It's funny you said that, because I had wrote down during the game that Stroud looked like he mentally broke. And I know some people might not get that, but I was never I never was a football player, so I ain't gonna sit here and talk like I was. But I wrestled, and one of the things you do in wrestling is you try to mentally break your opponent, and you can look at a guy and tell when you have mentally broke the guy, and you're not gonna get near as much effort out of that guy. And he about midway through that first quarter, he looked mentally broke. At halftime, I would have made the change. I'd have brought in Mills. I think he would have gave him a better chance to win that game. And then people say, don't do that to Stroud. Because you might be re-signing him. Hey, you can worry about that after the game. You're trying to advance in the playoffs. I mean, we saw Nick Saban make that decision in the national championship game with what was it, 2 in Hurts?
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to make a tough decision like that as a coach to try to get your team back in the game or keep them in the game. Their defense kept them in the game. But to me, the big difference in this game was New England's defense. New England's defense played just as good, if not better, than Houston's defense.
Yeah,
they were right there. They didn't give up very many points, because 7 of those points was off a pick 6. So I mean, their defense played real well as well. But it was entertaining to watch. Damn turnover fest there in the first half. But to me, beginning of the game, the weather looked like it was affecting both quarterbacks. And about midway through the first quarter, it looked like Drake May got a lot more comfortable throwing the ball in that weather, and it looked like Stroud got mentally broke. And then from there, that Patriots defense pretty much was able to control that Texans offense, and then the Texans couldn't score enough points to keep up.
Yeah, and Jay, before you go, real quick, I had a point. And the other thing was, it wasn't just because the guy played one bad half or one bad game. He played terrible the game before against Pittsburgh, and they was fortunate to win that game. So it was 2 performances in a row. That's and like you said, the other thing, he mentally broke. We've seen, even in baseball, we've seen pitchers get rattled and mentally break. We've seen defenders in basketball mentally break. I mean, somebody just takes it to them and they mentally break. And of course, like you talk about wrestling, of course, I've seen that many times coaching wrestling. So he mentally broke. I really believe that.
He was throwing
Jay?
he was throwing a lot of passes behind receivers.
Yes.
A lot of his passes were behind for some reason in that game.
Yeah. There's a reason for that. I'll get that here in a second. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of ways to look at this game, right? Defensively, let's be honest. Defensively, Houston played great. They really did. If you look at Drake May's stats, they're not really great at all. And then if you look at Houston's run game, non-existent, right?
Yeah.
So those are a couple of key things that stick out at me. The other thing that sticks out at me is Nico Collins wasn't out there. And so when Christian Kirk was doubled, or the other, and I think Higgins was got a few times open, but when you don't have a run game and you don't have your number one guy out there, and then New England's defense was playing great.
Yes,
I think that Stroud still has a lot of development in his reading of defenses and his composure. I mean, there's a lot of things in his mental game, like Chris said, in his mental game that he has to really, really work on. Because when I saw that man's face in that camera, and you can see it, Tony, you can see it in the eyes. That dude was lost. He had no confidence. And when you're lost and you have no confidence, you're done. You're cooked. And he was cooked.
Jay,
you're right. You're right.
I've been telling you that it's not been all the offensive coordinator that Stroud.
Well, I still
has regressed the last 2 years.
Think Bobby Slowick, they should have kept him. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm telling you, he's regressed over the last 2 seasons. He has not looked nothing like he did his rookie year for 2 seasons now.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. When you get a guy who has no confidence, zero, and you take him out of a game where that's the last memory he has, you're right. He could either bounce back or he could crumble. And I got a feeling from the look at CJ Stroud, like I said, the game before this and this, I don't know if he has it mentally tough enough to bounce back. And so I feel like if you take him out, you do got to move on from him. I think you move on from him. I think you get draft picks. You got Davis Mills. He can run the team while, whatever. I guess the point is when I see a guy that's broke that bad, I'm not going to give a guy like that a big contract. Because I don't now my confidence in him is shaken, and I don't want to give a guy a big contract if I don't fully believe in him. And I don't know if the guy can bounce back. Only he knows that, or a psychologist. So maybe he's got to go do some mental evaluations and see where his mindset is. But that game, if you look at, but I want to go real quick to New England, because if I'm New England, I'm concerned. Because if I'm New England, I'm like, okay, look, Drake May's been looking like a rock star up until this game. And let's be honest, like you said, Tony, and I believe it, the Patriots didn't win that game. The Houston just pooped the bed so bad that they couldn't win the game.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Hold on.
There was a reason Houston was making those mistakes.
I gave you time. Was I talking? I followed the Gonzo rules. I was quiet. It's a little church mouse. No, my point is, he had one. Or excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong guy. He had 3 touchdowns and an interception. So I get that, but I feel like they were able to contain him. He wasn't able to get the explosive run. Oh, come on, Chris. I know you're tougher than that. What I'm saying is, I felt like he was not able to do the big explosive plays like he had in the past. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think when he goes and plays Denver, that's going to be and again, I want to see how he does against the Denver. I fully expect them to beat Denver, by the way. I don't think they're going to lose to Denver, but I want to see how Denver's defense plays against May, because that's going to tell me how well, if they can win the Super Bowl or not win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think things have changed a lot. One other thing, back to the New England game, another big loss for Houston was when they lost Schultz. Losing Schultz, that hurt them too. That definitely hurt them. Losing Schultz hurt them a lot. But if you talk about Denver, I think things have changed. I mean, it's going to be tough unless this quarterback can make he's got to be able to move the ball some. They got to find a way to put up maybe 17, 20 points. If they can make no mistakes and put up 17, 20 points, Denver may have a chance in that game because of the defense. But it's New England's going to go after that quarterback. So it's going to be interesting. But we'll talk about that game later in the week. Let's move on to our last game, guys. Overtime win for the Rams, winning 20-17. Rams 340.
One thing real quick.
Okay.
Since when the guy threw 3 touchdown passes but didn't have a very good game?
I guess what I was referring to was the fact that
At 100. Oh no, I'm talking now. I let you talk. I'm talking now.
I thought you asked me a question. My bad.
I was still talking. Had over 100. Had over 100 passer rating. Dude, he had 1 pick. Got sacked 5 times because the offense because of pressure, but had 3 touchdowns. How's that a bad game?
I guess what I'm saying is for their offense, he's able to corral or he's able to do the big run plays. And they actually, and I said they did a great job corralling or containing him off of being able to escape when he was in trouble, which that's where he took the 5 sacks. That's the part I'm not saying he like performance-wise, like I understand he threw 3 touchdowns. I'm not saying that part. I'm just saying it was the part where he was normally he's able to escape and extend plays, and he wasn't really able to escape and extend plays on some of those drives. And that was just Houston keeping him contained in there. So he beat him with his arm. Not really with his legs, which in previous games he's able to get the long runs, and he was able to do that. That's the part I meant. I apologize, Chris. That's the part I meant.
Well, and New England their defense to a certain degree helped them win that game. New England played a great defense. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought the quarterback played bad, made some bad decisions, but a lot of those bad decisions was forced by New England's defense. So I get that.
Yeah, to me, that game was more about New England winning the game than the Texans losing the game. I don't think the Texans went in there and just lost that game. New England won that football game. Yeah, did Texans turn the ball over? Yeah, but a lot of those turnovers were created. Some of them were they stripped the ball. Or am I going to say that? Are you going to say that all the turnovers that the Texans defense caused, the fumbles that they caused on New England, that the Texans defense didn't have nothing to do with that? That was just New England fucking up. Like you got to give the other team credit for forcing those mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess more so to your point, if we really think about it, when they had Stroud backed up to a damn near his goal line at that point, which is when they looked broke. That's when they panned over to his face, and you could tell he was not mentally in that headspace anymore. Yeah. I think that, and I'm gonna go back to Vrabel. I think New England knew. I think that defense knew that they had him broke. And I think Vrabel was like, hey, pound, rush that dude, rush him. Because that dude, I think they knew he was broke, and I think they just intensified the pressure. He couldn't get out of it to save his life. He said Indiana getting run through tonight. I don't know about that, man, but we'll see.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We could get beat. I'm not saying that, but I don't think we're going to get run through. Yeah. Let's move on to the Rams and Chicago. Rams winning 20-17 in overtime. Pretty good game. Exciting game to watch. 340 total yards for the Rams offense. 229 passing, 111 rushing, 0 turnovers. And that's the big key for Chicago here, the turnovers. Chicago had 17 points. Like I said, 417 total yards, had a lot of yards, 257 passing, 160 rushing, but 3 turnovers. I think those 3 turnovers is kind of what cost them the game. I know they had a chance to win it in the end, but both teams, the weather, I think, affected both teams to a certain degree. It was a good game, guys. Rams pulled it out. Of course, there was a controversial play in that game where it was called a catch and not a fumble. Interesting there. I'm sure the Bear fans want the fumble, and the Rams fans was thrilled with the call, of course. So, Jay, your take on the Rams-Chicago game?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the biggest thing I took away from this game is Caleb Williams. That's the biggest thing I took. I know the Rams got the win, but I was really, really super impressed with Caleb Williams. If you'd asked me if I was going to be impressed with Caleb Williams, I said, hell no. I know forever I've been saying this guy was going to be horrible. He's not going to get it done. He's a prima donna. He's going to do this. He's going to demand all this. And you know what? I got to tell you, man, the guy has it. I don't know what Ben Johnson is putting in that water over there that turned his butt around. I mean, maybe that he had to go in there and get in Caleb Williams' butt and that offensive line's butt to do something. But if you look at it, in that last drive, he put that team on their back. And he was going and he was marching. And I think when he had to get that first down, right before he threw the interception, he did a quarterback run, or it might have been a scramble that turned into a run, and he got that first down. And if you saw it, he lowered his shoulder. He put that hit on him to get that first down. Now, I would have never thought that he was going to be that kind of a guy. I don't know. I just didn't feel like he was that person. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, man, damn, okay, this kid's tough. He really wants this, and I can tell he's getting better as a play caller, as a guy that can read defenses a little bit better. You can tell he's starting to get better at this. And when the game was over with, I watched his face expression on the bench, and he kind of turned his head sideways and was just kind of like, damn, let that one get away from me. Like you can tell like he knew that. And I liked it because you can tell he's taking that accountability of it, and it happened, man. He threw the ball. And honestly, part of that interception wasn't even on him. Part of that was on DJ Moore and that lazy route running. I think he threw it to a spot like he's done a million times before. The only problem is DJ wasn't there this time. It was a defender that broke on it. He broke and came all the way over to grab that ball. So I don't think that's all on that interception. Wasn't all on him. I think part of that interception was on DJ Moore and his lack of effort. And I think DJ probably even knows that. I'm sure they had a conversation about it in the halftime. I thought Swift, man, that guy did a great job running. I like some of those. I think it was at the goal line when he went up in the air trying to get over into that touchdown. I mean, he almost got there. If that guy had come diagonal and hit him that second time, I think he would have hit that goal line and got the touchdown. Ultimately, though, Stafford, great game. The whole team was a great game. I thought they did a good job, and it's going to be interesting going on the next time. But I think the biggest thing I took away was, man, how I think next year, I think the Chicago team is going to start getting really, really dangerous going forward. But good job for the Rams.
Yeah, I agree. If Chicago can keep their offense together, maybe make your offensive line stronger, get a little stronger on defense. Chicago fans should be pretty excited. I seen a guy make a post that this was Chicago's big chance and they're done now. Do you watch football? Or are you an idiot? I mean, Chicago, nobody thought Chicago was going to be – anybody that watched Chicago last year thought that even though Ben Johnson going there, people thought, yeah, he's a good coach, but nobody thought they was going to turn this around and be where they was at that point. And the only thing I will say is that they got to get a little better as far as not getting themselves – and this wasn't a game where they got way behind or anything, but it's hard to always come back and win games. So that's something, but hey, they're learning how to win. This team hadn't won for a while, so they're learning how to win. I think Ben Johnson's getting a culture there, and I think he's helped this quarterback get his confidence back, because I think he was a real good quarterback at one time in college, and then his last year in college, I didn't think he looked as good. He got drafted, and he didn't look great, but he's looking pretty good now. So. Definitely moving in the right direction. Chicago fans should be excited. Chris, your thoughts on this game?
It was a good football game. I think the Rams defense won the Rams this game, and the Bears defense played the best game I saw the Bears play all year, and the 3 turnovers on offense hurt them. But why I say the Rams the defense won the game. I understand that if you look at the stats, the Bears had more yards than the Rams and this and that. But on 3rd and 4th down, that Rams defense, they played a bend, don't break mentality. They let them get down the field. But how many times did you see the Bears go for it on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and get stuffed and turn the ball over on downs? Happened twice in the red zone. And that was big. Like I think it was like 4 times they stopped them. On 3rd and 4th downs when it was like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and they kept trying to run the ball up the middle, and they stopped them. And then, I agree, Jay, that last interception might not have been Williams' fault, but he threw 2 other ones that wasn't good.
True.
Williams either looks great, like he'll make a great throw, but then he misses a lot of easy throws. If you look yesterday, he missed a lot of short, easy throws that could have helped kept drives going. But then he'll make a fucking spectacular play that there might not be anybody else that can make. Like the dude's talented, but he has to get better at the short passes and not missing the easy ones. I think that came back to hurt him a little bit yesterday. But I was impressed by that Bears defense. That was the main reason I didn't think the Bears would win that game was because of their defense. Because if they don't get turnovers, usually that defense gives up points. They didn't get no turnovers yesterday, and they kept the Bears a chance to win that game, even with the 3 turnovers. Right. So I was impressed with the Bears defense, but I thought the Rams offense couldn't get in a whole lot of room. They'd move the ball some, but they couldn't get in the end zone. And but you have Stafford there at the end make plays when you have to, him and Puka, and then. But I think that Rams defense being able to stand up on them, a lot of them third and fourth shorts was a big difference in that game.
Yeah.
One thing I agree with you on the short passes, and I feel like that's why I said I feel like next year, I think that's probably what part of his game he's going to work on. I feel like he'll get better as those things. This is only his second year, so I feel like he's got so much room to grow that I think he's going to get better as time goes on. But I think I think Ben Johnson, man, for your first year, hey, I think if you're a Chicago person, you're probably, damn, that's the most excitement we've seen in like almost a decade. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you guys think, though? They scored that touchdown. Do you kick the extra point and go to overtime, or do you go for the two and go for the win right there?
And you brought up a good point. They got stopped in the red zone on 4th and 1. They was having trouble picking up big 1 yard pickups. So because of that, I think you kick the extra point.
I think right there what you just said. I think that's why he went with the extra point, was because they hadn't had a lot of success. And the reason I say that is because first quarter they were down there and he went for it and didn't get no points. I think if they would have had some success on those, he would have went for it and tried to end the game right there and not give the ball back to Stafford. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, both teams made the other team punt in overtime, so they both had chances. But I mean, sometimes you have that momentum, you have the crowd going crazy. Sometimes that 2-point play could be the answer. But I think, because I agree with you, I think a lot of it had to do with what happened earlier in the game.
I know. I agree. What did Jimmy McGinty say? Winners always want the ball. But sometimes you got to kick it, because, like you said, Chris, a lot of those, they weren't able to. That red zone was hard for them, especially around that goal line. The Rams' goal line defense was on point. And so I think you're right. I think you kick it like they did, and you go to overtime, and you just live to fight another day. Unfortunately, the other day, and even when they went to overtime, their defense held Stafford. They just couldn't convert when they got the ball back. I mean,
it's true.
Man.
They were moving the ball when he threw that interception. I mean, right. Chicago was moving the ball. Okay, guys, let's move on to our last topic. Let's move on to the main event, guys, the big game. Miami versus IU for the college football championship. Here's what we're going to do, Jay. I'll let you go first. Tell us what you think Miami has to do to win the game. Tell us what you think IU's got to do to win the game, and then give us your prediction for the game.
Yeah, if I'm Miami, I think you got to control the line of scrimmage. That's probably first and foremost. I think you have to establish your run so you can control the time of possession, which will keep Mendoza and that dangerous offense that you guys have there off to the side. And then the main thing is they got to maintain their composure. You can't let them get you into stupid penalties or personal fouls or anything dumb that's going to cost you yardage. That could be the number one killer for you. And then secondly, I don't know what you guys think about that, but that one guy Licks, he's going to miss half the game for that hit that he put on to Ole Miss. I agree with what they were saying on Pat McAfee. I think it was Pat McAfee I heard it on. He should have been fined. Don't make the guy miss a half. That's a national damn title. Let that dude play, man. Give him look. They get NIL money. Just do like you do in the NFL. You're already in the NFL, pretty much. Just give him a fine. Okay, you got $50,000, whatever it is. Pay the fine and let the guy play, because this is the biggest game in their careers. Why are you going to punish him? And they gave him 15 yards. Damn you! Why are you going to punish him twice? You going to play once? Why are you punish him? I hate that. That really irritates me, because they're taking away from an opportunity for a young man and a program and the students that attend that university. So, but at the end of the day, if I'm IU, I'm definitely I don't want them to get that run game going. I'm going to have to probably, they're going to have to, like I said, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to open up pockets. They're going to have to deal with the physicality of Miami, which I think they can do it. But I think they just continue with the game plan that they've had all along. The game plan that they've been using has worked for them. And I'm going to, man, it's a little hard one. Who do I go with, man? Damn. I'm going to go with IU, because I think Cignetti is just, and I think this IU program is just, they're playing out of their minds. This is probably the best. I can't believe I'm going to say this about Indiana. I never thought I'd say this about Indiana, but this is probably the best college football team in the history of college football. Honestly, if they win this game, that's a perfect season, and they've dominated every damn inch of the way. God, what a time, man! I never thought I'd say it, but the Hoosiers.
Okay, I'm going to go next. I think the big key for Miami is, like you said, the offensive line, defensive line. I think the offensive line's got to protect that quarterback, and he's got to play well, not make mistakes. He can be forced into mistakes sometimes. I've seen it. I've seen him play against Louisville, and I know it's earlier in the season, but I've seen him throw 4 interceptions against Louisville. So, I mean, so it can happen. So that's a big thing. I think the big key for Miami on the defense, they got to shut down to control IU's running game. And the reason I say this, in the games where IU's running game, I'm not saying been stopped, but it's been controlled where they only get 90, 100 yards, like Iowa did, like Ohio State did. Penn State did a little bit of that earlier in the game. If you can slow down the running game, that affects IU's passing game some. IU's running game is one of the keys to IU's offense, and the quarterback. It sets up a lot of their play calling if they can move the football running. So I think that's a big key. I think Miami wants to keep this around. I think if IU scores more than 24 points, I think Miami's in trouble. That's just my opinion. And I'm going to predict IU's going to win the game 27-17. But don't get me wrong. Miami's a very good football team. I'm not disrespecting them at all. Forget about the 2 losses earlier in the season. You made it to the playoffs, and they played very well in the playoffs. They look like a team that deserves to be there, and they're a team that could win it all. So I'm not taking anything away from them. But I am going to predict IU. Of course, I am a homer, so you would expect me to pick IU. But and I agree with you, Jay. I think IU could go down as one of the best college teams if they win this game. Chris?
Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to pick in this game.
Yeah, shut up.
For Miami to win, I think they have to slow the game down. They have to get their running game going and keep Indiana's offense and Mendoza on the sideline. Limit the possessions that IU gets. I think for Miami to win this game, they got to get their run game going. But that can be difficult too. Indiana's rushing defense is number 2 in the country, so they've been good against the run all season, and we've been pretty good against pass all season too. I think that's going to be something big for Miami if they want to win this game. Another thing, they can't make the mistakes and stupid mistakes and penalties like they did against Ole Miss. You do that against this IU team, you're going to find yourself down real quick. And once they get you down, they keep that foot on your throat. We saw it last week against Oregon. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. So you can't help IU. This IU team all season at least has not made a lot of mistakes. They don't hurt themselves. They don't beat themselves. They don't lose games. You're going to have to beat them. And if IU plays like they have all year and are disciplined like that, I think they win. But for Miami has got to play almost a perfect game. You can't have stupid penalties, can't have turnovers, and you got to get the run game going. And like you said, they got to slow down IU's run game. For them to have a chance in this game, I think they have to slow down IU's run game. They have to get IU in the 3rd and longs. You got to get them behind the chains. If you're letting IU get 4 or 5 yards on first down, it's going to be a long night. If you got to try to get them in as many 3rd and long situations as you can, and try to find a way to get Mendoza out of rhythm, which is hard. Mendoza hasn't been out of rhythm pretty much all year, and especially in the playoffs. I mean, the dude has thrown 8 touchdowns and only 5 incompletions in the playoffs. But yeah, I like IU in this game. Like I said, IU's defense has been good. It's going to come down to the trenches. Both these teams are physical. I know the game's in Miami, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a home field advantage because I think the crowd disparity could be more IU fans than Miami fans. So it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait till 7:30 tonight. But I like IU by. I'm gonna say IU by 10 points.
As your boy said, I who? I
who?
love that. Hey, real quick, I just want to add one more little quick thing in there, and it's really for both of you guys. It's a question for you guys on your defense. So when Carson Beck did play, when they went up against Ole Miss wound up doubling up Tony, and then they did individual man coverage on the other guys, and Carson Beck just picked Ole Miss apart because of that. Now, you guys have a really good secondary. I mean, you got them guys are like ball hawks. So are you going to – do you think they take that same approach with Tony? Do you think they double up him and then do single coverage on the other ones?
No, IU they might a little bit, but IU plays a lot of zone. They play a lot of zone. They don't play near a whole lot of man. So they'll play maybe a little bit, but they play a lot of zone in the back end. So I don't see them having the exact same approach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tony? Chris?
I wonder if I noticed McAfee said it took him an hour to get into the stadium today. I guess Trump's going to be there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if people's going to have a hard time getting in that stadium today. I hope they show up early because it could be an issue.
Yeah.
Could be an issue.
Yeah. He said you might want to come now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. He said, then the reality of you're probably gonna be the line drunk because you've been tailgating so long. But
yep. Definitely looking forward to it, guys. The game's at 7:30 night. Probably won't start at 7:30. You know, you got some things. You got your national anthem and things. So my guess is going to start probably about 7:45, 7:50. Be my
like
guess.
McAfee said, hell, they have trouble getting people into the stadium. They might push it back some.
Could be a big issue, yeah. Okay, guys, tonight we even moved up our wrestling show tonight. Normally it's at 6:30, but on GWR, Gonzo Sports Room, we've got our GWR wrestling show, our independent wrestling show at 6 o'clock tonight. And we'll have some great guests on there, so check that out. And hope everybody has a great night. Don't forget tomorrow our Tuesday night hoop show at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. Central.
he said the Illuminati are trying to keep it from being a real Miami home game. Damn, coach. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the show for today. And if you've enjoyed all of our content, if you enjoyed the fact that I felt it was a pretty good show, I only pissed off Chris once.
Yep.
I feel like I'm making progress. If you want to see me and Chris do a slap off, just put that in the comments and we'll make that happen. Until next time, it's your boy Jay with OG Tony and Gonzo saying, Hoosiers!